criminalized. They understand that prohibition hasn't worked. Making tougher laws and putting people in prison isn't reducing the problems. And I agree that violent, dangerous criminals and organized crime are a threat and should be dealt with. But the only way to do so is to end prohibition, take the money away from them, bring it into the legitimate economy, stop wasting taxpayer dollars going after an endless battle, and we'll see a solution to so many of the problems associated with the drug trade today.
Mm-hmm. Look, we just had a survey that showed that, 65% of people support the death penalty. Wherever you stand on that, it's not the government's job to simply obey the people. They have to have their own ideas. And I mean, I think you'd agree that there's been a big media campaign and entertainment campaign to normalize drug use. I don't think people who use cannabis should have criminal records and be arrested. But if you are growing the stuff to sell, well, I've got very little sympathy with you.
Well, consider that most Canadians aren't going and calling up their local Hells Angels dealer to get their weed. Millions of Canadians smoke marijuana, and they do so peacefully, and they either get it from a friend, somebody who grows a couple plants, or somewhere through the chain. But people aren't really buying off dealers from the street. Millions of Canadians get it from people who are growing a few plants in their basement. Indoor growing, a lot of people do it for other types of plants too. But if you wanted to make it safer for people to grow and access cannabis, bring it into the free market, bring it into the private sector or even the government. Get it in the hands of responsible people. Don't let the gangsters control the majority of it.
It's a very good and a very clever argument, and you make it well. But at the same time, if you don't want to, again, if someone uses the stuff, and most cops would go along with this, if it's being used, they're not going to really intervene. I've seen police cruisers drive past cars full of kids who, they've got better things to do. But if you don't want to go to prison, if you don't want a record, then don't grow it. It's as simple as that. You use it if you want, but don't grow the stuff.
The problem is, if regular, ordinary Canadians who grow their own aren't able to do it because they're afraid of the law, that means more marijuana is going to be grown by organized crime. Gangsters and criminals are willing to take the risks. They know that they could be shot on the street, they can get arrested, they know there are risks involved, and they're the people willing to take those risks. So when you raise the risk and you raise the threat of prison and the punishment increases, only the worst of the worst types of people are going to continue taking those risks.
But Jody, again, you know that the practicality is neither the government nor the police are going after people who are growing for personal use. They're aiming at people who are growing big time because they want to make money. And these people aren't doing it because they're